It's a bit chillier today than it has been. 17, something like that. Still looks like a nice enough day to get out for a ride though. Egg and cheese sandwiches. Well, I lied. It's not 17 degrees, it's only 14. So I've switched into my heavier, long-sleeved, black cycling jersey. And as I'm going mostly on roads, I've got my flashing red light on the back. I think it's going to be a chilly one. Wish me luck. As is often the case, I forgot something. So I had to turn around after a couple of kilometres and come all the way back upstairs. Anyway, take two. So here we are on Riverside Drive, the usual starting point. Very windy, very cold. The Hillsborough River looks grey. Province House. Still covered in scaffolding and sheets. We really have forgotten what it looks like. Back into Victoria Row. A little more live music. And that's the library at the top of the hill there. And over the road will be the new home of the library. $15 million later. Government buildings at the end of the road here, all named after former politicians and stuff. That's the Shaw building, whoever he was. And this is another way to get into Victoria Park. There's the entrance to Charlottetown Harbour in the distance. And over here an array of cannons, which I assume is to fight back the French. Probably just ceremonial now. Much quieter in here now. A lot of the holiday makers have gone back whence they came. So I'm on North River Road and I intend to stay on here for about the next 3 or 4 kilometres despite the traffic. And in fact in the distance you can see the junction with Ellens Creek and Beech Grove Road, the junction with Capitol Drive, and beyond that the flyover where the Charlottetown bypass crosses this road. And it's too windy to even breathe. And this is the busy junction between Capitol Drive and North River Road. And behind me is the entrance there to the St. Peter and Paul Antiochian Orthodox Church. And on the horizon you can see it in the distance, behind Honda. But this is so hideously windy. It's from the north and I'm riding north, so I may just have to switch the camera off for a bit. And up ahead is where the Charlottetown bypass crosses over this road, which is called the Lower Malpeck Road. But there's no shoulder. I'm not riding on gravel, so I'm going to sneak across and ride on the sidewalk. Here we go. I don't think I've ever ridden my bike underneath here. Yeah, so this is Route 2, and I just stopped to change my camera battery. Behind me is the Alma Trucking Company depot and the Pepsi distribution centre. Normally I cross these roads on the trail and don't ride them, but today I'm going to ride this one out to Warren Grove and pick up the trail from there. I aborted the Route 2 ride to Warren Grove. It was just too windy, too cold, too much traffic. It's pretty grey overhead, may even rain. So I jumped onto the Confederation Trail, and I've now stopped at a place called Milton Junction, which is another of these big diamond-shaped junctions where that's where I've come from. And this way here leads to well, Mount Stewart and then eventually Elmira. So the junction joins up over there, and that's where I'm going in a minute. Interesting map of the Confederation Trail. So we're here, and I haven't really come that far actually, because I live there by the hospital, which I assume is that red cross and a white flag. Yesterday Susan and I rode from Montague round to Georgetown. Earlier in the year we went from Charlottetown all the way out to Elmira at the end of the line, and then by road to East Point. And last summer we rode all the way from the start of the Confederation Bridge at Borden-Carlton across the island, Hunter River, Charlottetown, Stratford, right the way round down east to Murray Harbour, and back of course, because we ride everywhere twice, there and back each time we're out. So we still have the western end of the island to do. Myself, I've already gone from Kensington up as far as I think around... No, I didn't get to O'Leary. I think I probably got to Ellerslie. So we've still got a good bit to do to get up to the North Cape where the windmills are. And now it's time for an egg and cheese sandwich. And on the other side of this signboard is a close-up of the city of Charlottetown. It says 34,000 people, but that's way out of date. I mean, it's just boomed in the last 5 years. It must be over 50,000 now. And the red line is the Confederation Trail as it runs through town, across the Hillsborough Bridge. Of course, all the locals know that the trail itself used to be the railway line, both passenger and freight, but there's been no passenger trains since I believe the late 60s, and no freight trains since sometime in the 80s. And they ripped up all the track and thankfully turned it all into hiking and biking trails. I think there's way over 300 kilometres worth of trails you can ride or walk or hike, and in the winter they're given over to the Snowmobile Association, who pay for the exclusive use of it. And at the moment there's a pilot scheme going on to allow horses and riders on sections of the trail. Not sure who's going to go behind them with a dustpan and brush and a big sack. And there's the trusty steed, 1986 Rally Quadra, made by Rally's racing division, out of 531 steel tubing, which is lighter than the usual. In fact, it's as light, if not lighter, than an aluminium bike. It has Shimano 105 gears and brakes, and I haven't done a whole lot else to it apart from new wheels. about my second set of tyres since I acquired it 10 years ago. A Brooks B17 leather saddle, but I've got a cover on it to make it more comfy, and a little bag to carry goodies. Right, that's it. Lunch over. Time to go. And we're off. This junction is known as Milton Junction, and you can see the two arms of the track diverging behind me. This is where the trail has to cross the Charlottetown bypass, aka the Perimeter Highway. So we'll stop at the traffic lights and pick the trail up again the other side, over there somewhere. Not a lot of fun. So at this point the trail cuts the city in half, going north-south. And we're on the northern fringe of town at the moment. I see there's a new piece of road getting ready to service something. There's an awful lot of development going on. And behind us over there, I think it's about 70 acres, all for development, worth about 100 million, the land. But at least the trail will continue to bisect the city, and we can ride it from north to south and enjoy a slightly different view of Charlottetown. And the horrible northerly headwind I was struggling into has now become a lovely tailwind, and the grey sky has begun to part and give us some nice white fluffy clouds against a blue background. And there's the university. Right up there will be the lily pond, and off in the distance will be the urban beehives, and behind the trees will be University Avenue. Well, all in all, that was pretty tough today. The wind helped a little bit on the way back, or part of the way back. At least the weather improved.